Hello guys, this is Aditya Anand and today we are back again with a new video. The topic for this is how to find the factorial of a number, and we'll use the iterative approach, not the recursive approach here, because we have not learned how to define a function till now, okay? And also we'll talk about Fibonacci series up to n terms. So what is a factorial first of all? Uh, a factorial of, let's say, a number 5 is equal to 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. That means we'll keep the number itself and we keep decrementing it till we reach 1. This is a way how to calculate a factorial of a number, okay? If we are calculating the factorial of 4, we'll just remove this part, okay? And the remaining, this thing is factorial of 4, this is factorial of 3, this is factorial of 2, and so on. If we want to calculate factorial of 6, let's say, so we multiply 6 to this number. This is how a factorial is calculated. But there are some rules. Let's say that if the given number is equal to 0, right, then the factorial of that number is 1. If the number is num is equal to 1, then also the factorial is 1. From 2 onwards we keep decrementing it till we reach 1, okay? So first of all, what we need to have is the number whose factorial we want to calculate, right? So number is input, enter the number, right? But we don't want the number to be in string, so we'll typecast it to integer, right? Now if this is not the case, otherwise what we will do is we will iterate from the number and we'll do a step of -1 each time. You can see that 6, 5, every time the step is decrementing by 1, right? And we'll stop when we reach up to 1, right? So what we'll do is for not this way, for I in range that number itself up to 1 and by a step of -1, right? And what we'll do is let's say fact, the value of factorial, see we are multiplying it here, right? So we'll use the multiplicative identity, that is 1, okay? So fact is equal to fact into, this fact is actually a variable that stores the factorial, okay? Fact into I. So if we print fact, then let us just assign fact is equal to 1 here. Control X, let us put it here, and we can write it this way, or even if we remove this if statement, it will work fine, okay? We can say if this will work fine, just let me show you once. Print fact, enter the number 5, 120, good. So 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1 is 120, right? Now if I remove this condition, because this is a redundant thing, that we already have fact is equal to 1 and again we are assigning fact is equal to 1, so this is redundancy. So if I just remove this part and if I keep that if num is greater than 1, right? If num, that means num is not equal to 0 or not equal to 1. If it is greater than 1, then we do this thing, okay? So let us do for 6, it should be 720, yes. So this is how we print the factorial of a number. I hope you understood this. If not, you can always comment down in the comment section and I will be happy to help you. So this is how we do a factorial of a number. write a program to print the factorial of a number using iterations. Here iterations are involved, right? So this was it. Now let's talk about Fibonacci series. Okay, what Fibonacci series is, see, it is a series where the first element is 0 and the second element is 1, and this is the initial configuration. Okay, the first element is 0, the second element is 1, and from the third element onwards we do the addition of these two and we store in the third element, that is 1, right? What will be the fourth element? We'll add the previous two elements and we'll store here 2, right? Then 3, then 5, then 8, and so on, right? This is how uh, the Fibonacci series works. Okay, so if we have to do this up to n terms, how many terms was this? 0 term, 1 term, sorry, first term, second term, third term, fourth term, fifth term, sixth term, and the seventh term. Okay, now if we want to do this up to n number of terms, then what we have to do is we have to create an array, let's say Fibonacci array. Okay, sorry, not this way, yes, and it will store initially zeros 8 times. Let us just print this and let's see what it is storing. There can be many other ways to do this. I am just showing this way and it is easier and it is good. So see, there are 8 zeros stored here. Okay, and this will not actually be 8, it will be the number that we are inputting. Number int of input ent, enter the value of n. Okay, so 0 into num. Suppose we are entering 8 here, then we'll get 8 number of zeros. If we are entering 5 here, then we'll only get the 5 number of zeros. Okay, so let me just remove this print statement. Now what we have to do is we have to make this as 0 because that is the initial configuration, right? Fibonacci of 0 is equal to 0 and Fibonacci of 1 is equal to 1, right? From the next element onwards, right, for I in range from 2, right, 0, 1, and from 2 to less than that number because it starts from 0. So for the 8th term it will the index will be 7, right? So 2 to num, what we do is Fibonacci of I is equal to Fibonacci of I minus 1, that is, if we are calculating it for this term we have to add this term and this term, right, plus Fibonacci of I minus 2. So this should give us, now if we print FIB, then it should give us the Fibonacci series. See, let me run this and let me give a value of 8. See, up to here there were 7 terms as we already discussed earlier. So the eighth term will be 5 plus 8, that is 13, and so on. We can keep it increasing always, right? So this is how we print the Fibonacci series, and that's all for today's video. If you like the video, hit the like and the subscribe button. I hope to see you soon. And see, we have covered almost many, not almost, but many of the basics of Python that is required to move into the intermediate part. Okay, the intermediate Python. So there are many other basics like a map, filter, or lambda functions. So these things I will keep adding to this series. I will keep adding to this series later on, but for now we are sufficient enough to move into the intermediate Python. So we'll be moving into intermediate Python soon. So thank you very much. The next video will be on intermediate Python. So revise this thing, work with it properly, and then come to the intermediate Python. We'll have a lot of fun. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Have a great day ahead.